A fun thought for today, or maybe it's just a rant, is do drop tests actually matter? And does anyone make a purchase based off that? Got me thinking. I was just recently chatting with a friend that's part of the training and like qualifying equipment for duty use for a major police department. And we were chatting because he has a brand of optic on the way to test that they're evaluating to see if it's something you want to issue or if it's okay for off-duty carry, that kind of thing. And so we'd already got the major optic manufacturer just said, tell us what SKUs you want. We'll get them on the way. He asked to make sure it was okay to do drop testing as part of the T&E. And they replied, of course, that's just, part of, that comes with the territory because for duty stuff, you need to drop it or whatever kind of internal testing they have to make sure it's safe. For duty use, I get that, but and I understand I carry a gun from time to time. A lot of people that do, but how often do people actually look at that kind of data as grounds to purchase or not purchase either a firearm or an optic? I'm genuinely curious. I've seen some videos on YouTube. I know there's like a channel on YouTube where the guy gets two different models and hits them with a hammer and drops it off a skyscraper and runs it over with a car. And this one could get hit 100 times with a hammer and not break. So it's better than this model that I could only hit 75 times with a hammer and then it broke. Some of that stuff just seems so excessive that no one really cares. At least I don't, but I'm curious if you do. I understand that you could drop an optic on just the perfect spot from the perfect height on the perfect surface and crack the glass or maybe the window, the glass comes out of the optic or something like that. It could happen with anything. Or some gun, some model of handguns, maybe you drop it on the ground and it just goes off. That's a thing that's been known to happen that I hear anyway. So I understand this kind of stuff could happen, but I don't know. I'm curious. How often do you actually make a purchase based off of a drop test like that? And if you were going to buy a gun, would you, the contrast to that in a gun world, I've seen tests where it's the gun's buried in a bunch of mud. Well, there's a popular channel that had, it was like 5 or 10 different models of handguns. They're all buried in this mud or sit in water for 5 minutes, then pull them out and shoot each one of them. And if this one malfunctions, it's not as reliable as the other one. Never had any handguns sit in water for even a minute, or mud, so I don't know that it's really relevant to me, but I'm curious if it is for any of you, because, man, I get just watching information, or just watching content for education, but I'm just curious if anybody actually takes these drop tests or extreme gun tests seriously. So anyway, let me know in the comments if they actually persuade you to spend your money one way or the other. I'm curious.